Welcome back to the River Styx Tarot. Let's go ahead and get started with today's reading and see what's happening. So, we've got the feminine intellect. So, the feminine intellect is about the, like, what we think of when it comes to, like, mysticism and the craft, the arts, or whatever, anything creative, anything mystical, magical, spiritual. Um, it could be many different things. Those are just some of the things that we think of when we think of feminine intellect. It doesn't necessarily mean like gender per se, because we all have feminine intellect and we all have masculine intellect. It's just a base of um, like a description of what people call it. It's nothing like specific. It's very, very broad in its meaning. And then we have decision, performance, and impact. And so here we've got a bunch of, I can't really show you all of it, but there's a bunch of women underneath like this gateway, and then there's the stars and the moon and everything like that, and they're looking up at the sun on one side and the moon on the other. And it looks like there's one looking towards the future and two looking towards the back. So it what I'm feeling is like there's a doorway, a gateway within ourselves. And when we're talking about the feminine intellect, it's like the gateway in which we have within us to be able to access those, like what people call hidden knowledge, or, like our higher self, or any of those kind of like clair gifts and stuff like that. It's just a pathway or portal or a doorway inside of ourselves that help us see more clearly and make sense of what is around us. And we have the present, and it's like you see there's a woman there sitting, and she's got like a spool of thread, and she's threading it onto sticks. So I have this lovely painting, and it kind of represents the same thing, but it's like you're taking in energy, you're taking in string, you're taking in some type of substance, and you are gathering it. You are gathering, I'm just gonna put these down, gathering in this type of substance from the external, and you're bringing it into your here and now. And this is actually quite funny. I was talking about this earlier today, but it's like you're obtaining things that are not from within you. And so the portal or the doorway or the gateway or whatever is inside of you, and that's where knowledge comes from on the inside, so as within. But this is also showing that you are gathering information from the outside of yourself. So you're not necessarily accessing all the way, or at least all the way to the fullest potential, the information and the knowledge, my kitties, that we have the potential to see, hear, and be aware of. So it's almost like the external gathering of whatever information is kind of clouding up that doorway and putting a cloud or a veil on it, or just kind of muting it so that you can't hear it or see it or feel it as clearly, because it's being blocked or covered up, or not ignored. Oops. Well, that's fine. By all these other external sources. And if you clear those away, those external sources, like say the news, um, you know arguments, social media, I don't know, books, that kind of thing. Like, different, there's many different religions or like different practices, family situations. You'll see my cat. He is walking in front of the light, so that's what all that shadow is. So he's going to be my light assistant today. And he kind of got me distracted. Let me reel that back in. But those external things kind of, distract us from that voice that's in ourself, that's helping us, that little voice that, or that gut feeling that you get that makes you feel, oh, I should or shouldn't do that, or that doesn't feel like it's a good idea, or I should trust my gut, or, something just tells me I shouldn't or should make those whatever decisions that you're making. So, yeah, and that blocks the ability to really get the information that the feminine intellect that's within us is trying to convey. And that's a lot of, and there's a lot of names for it: psychics, tarot readers, energetic readers, mystics, witches, like whatever, intuitives. They are all practicing using or entering that doorway within themselves to be able to hear things or see things, or have like the knowings of things ahead of time, or things, see things that people have hidden. My cats have the zoomies, and things like that. The spirit of lightning. So it's lightning. It's not only just light, or lightning, but sometimes it's like the weight of things, like the heavy things or light things. So in the means of spirit of lightning, it is also, it's like the light is kind of what it is. It's kind of interesting, but it's the light's light that's inside of us, the spirit's light. And the lighter you are, the better you can also hear those intuitive pulls within yourself, and be able to kind of tune in more clearly to what exactly you're being, showed by the spirit that's within you. Messenger of the gods. That's so funny. And also, believe it or not, it's a horse running really fast in the moonlight. So I don't know if you watched yesterday's reading, but I did talk about the horse running, so it's funny that popped up. But yeah, so it's like the messenger of the gods that's coming in and trying to give you all of this information, all of this knowledge, all of these awarenesses and abilities to become the best version of yourself, to become, what you have potential to be. The brave traveler. And that's somebody also looking through like a doorway. And that's kind of what we have to be able to travel through these realms, these, intuitive things, and through the messages and the energetics. You have to be brave. You have to have that within you to be like, I could do it. You got to trust yourself. Don't have any doubts. And just believe that you could do it. You have to have that bravery to know that, yes, you can do those things. And sometimes it's perceived as not easy, but it's as easy or as hard as you make it on yourself. And there's no time there's no time in which to do something. It's all based upon your decisions and what you do or what you need to learn out of something that then makes something take as long or as short as it is. So next we have the omniscient advisor or counsel. So omni means one. So it's like the one. So it's like inside of you, you are one. It's all one. So it's like listening to that one counsel within yourself and not listening to the many different things on the outside yourself. Like in this card here, also, I noticed there was not just one spool of thread, but there was 1, 2, 3 spools of thread. So there's 3 external sources that this person is gathering information to be able to, I don't know, make decisions upon, make choices, life-changing things. You never know. And here's what's, I don't say it's really funny, but this person also, I don't know if you could see, does not have a smile on their face. They kind of looked a little glum. So it's like the information from the outside that this person is obtaining to their self is not really making them happy in life. So if you always listen to people on the outside of you, are you ever going to be happy? Like, is it ever going to be what you actually need? Maybe it's what you want to hear. It could be. Maybe you're looking for something that you didn't know that you already had. Because when you're looking for something on the outside of ourselves, it's like we're telling ourselves that we're lacking it, that we don't already have it. So it's like you're asking somebody, for example, well, who am I? What am I good at? Well, they're not going to know. The only person who's going to know what you like is you. And, who or what you should be your decision and not somebody else's decision. Because if it's somebody else's decision, then you're not going to really be happy. It's not going to be fulfilling. It's not going to really light your fire within yourself. It's not going to speak to your soul. And eventually you'll experience what's called burnout, where you just kind of, not want to engage in it. A lot of people feel this, especially in the career circumstances where they work and they're excited. They got this new job. They're doing this job. Then the job gets to them and it wears them down. And then next thing you know, people are calling off work. They're not wanting to go to work. They want to do something else. They become miserable, upset, irritable, and eventually either quit or get fired because their job performance plummets. And so that's one thing. So, and a lot of times we are pressured into getting jobs in positions and circumstances like that. But then again, we're listening to the outside of us tell us what we should do and what job we should get in order to be XYZ. And it's not always happy. So definitely listen to your soul, listen to, the inside of yourself. And, like, for example, I really love art. I am an artist through and through. Everything about me speaks, smells, tastes like art. I'm walking art in every which way and form. And I don't really like jobs that don't deal with art or some type of like creativity where I could be creative in a way. And, after a while working in these jobs where it just is like paper pushing, and it's not like paper creating or paper crafting, it eventually wears me down and I don't really feel like working anymore and I just want to do something else. And then I get into like this tiffy and then I start losing the passion about, like, I stop losing that will to, or that ambition to actually want to do my passions because I'm so burnt out doing this other thing that doesn't make me happy, but I feel like I have to do because I have to pay bills and I have to do all this other stuff, And so it's important to, whatever you're doing, use that as a stepping stool in order to get you to where you actually would like to go in life instead of where you feel like you have to be in life. So, my job currently, it's helping me get to the new job that I have, which is in art. So that's great. I deal with art, local art, sell art, and it's a dream job. It's a career. And to me, I don't really feel like it's a job. It's like I get to play all day, every day. And I'm really excited about it because I get to learn about new pieces of art every day. And you could see even how just talking about it lights me up. It really makes me happy. And you can have that too. You can find a job that you absolutely love, that fills you up with joy and happiness, and you could start taking the steps that it would take to get to there. And it doesn't have to be like this massive leap, but it could just be as simple as writing it down. These are the steps that I need in order to get to this point in life. I need to get a paintbrush, I need to get a canvas, I need to figure out what I'm going to paint. I'm going to sketch it out maybe, or freehand it. I'm going to put paint on a palette and put paint on my brush and start at it until I get a whole thing painted, and then I'm going to sit there and see if I like it and make any touch-ups, and there you go. I painted a picture. And all it did was take me to actually taking that first initiative to do these little tiny steps that ended up making the masterpiece. And so that's all you have to do as well. Like if you want a career in computer engineering, you would say, okay, what do I need to do to be able to obtain that language of computer coding? How could I get into whatever school? What do I need to do to be successful in that school? Do the schoolwork, get it done, do the projects. The next thing you know, after you take these little steps that end up becoming bigger steps and bigger leaps, you get to that end goal. So you could take the same, plan of action and apply it to any career, any idea, anything. It doesn't even have to be a job. It could be like buying a car. It could be as simple as cleaning your house, getting your chores done, anything. Taking a walk, doing an exercise plan, eating healthier. You gotta go to the store to buy healthy food. If you want to start eating healthy, you can't just start eating healthy with all the junk you have in your house. You gotta have that mindset, then start taking these little tiny actions to implement said plan. And you'll be successful as long as you feel and you keep that in your heart and your mind and your soul that it's going to work, and stop doubting yourself. Then the process will happen as quickly, as successfully, or as terribly and unsuccessfully as you choose for it to be. It's just based on your decisions. So, based on decisions, I'm going to go ahead and end this video today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.